Hello and welcome to Nikolay's genetics lessons, and today is going to be my second video in which I'm going to talk about major protein sorting pathways in eukaryotes. And let me first briefly remind you about different fate of the messenger RNA, which is going to be produced in the nucleus and is going to leave nucleus through nuclear pore. And now we can find it in cytosol, and cytosol is aqueous solution which we can find in cell, which take a space between outer membrane of the nucleus and membrane of the cell, excluding organelles. So all this we call cytosol. And here we see messenger RNA. Here is one ribosome, second, third, and fourth. Here is a 5' end, 3' end here, and you see ribosomes move from 5' end to 3' end, and this ribosome, which attached first, now have a sequence of the amino acids which is longer than, for example, in this ribosome. If within this 30 first amino acids there are going to be a sequence which we call, for example, endoplasmic reticulum signal sequence, then such ribosome along with messenger RNA would be attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and this protein, or more precisely it's going to be polypeptide sequence, polypeptide chain, would be excreted in the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum, where it's later going to be processed. Signal sequence would be cut away and protein would be folded, and we call this pathway secretory pathway because at the end these proteins would leave the cell. But there are also different fates for messenger RNA. For example, if there is no signal sequence here, then such polypeptide chain would be produced in the cytosol and would be folded here in cytosol, and this protein would function in the cytosol. But there also can be different sequences, signal sequences here at the N-terminus, for example, which would signal that it have to be transported into the mitochondria, or, for example, in chloroplast if it is going to be plant cell or peroxisome. In the following slide, we are going to talk about how this endoplasmic reticulum signal sequence lead to binding of the ribosome along with messenger RNA to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and how this polypeptide chain would be secreted into the lumen of this organelle. The major role of bringing ribosomal complex along with the messenger RNA and nascent polypeptide chain play this particle. We call it SRP, or signal recognition particle. It's also shown here, which we can find in the cytosol. And let me add some details here. So here going to be large ribosomal subunit, small ribosomal subunit at the stage when about 30 amino acids would be produced. And again, here we can find signal sequence, which signals that such polypeptide chain have to be moved to the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and this polypeptide chain have to be secreted in the lumen of this organelle, and later it would be secreted outside the cell. So about, as I said, 30 amino acids would be produced, and about 40 amino acids would be produced and would be hidden here in the large ribosomal subunit. In some pictures that you can find in some textbooks or on the internet, it looks like when a new amino acid would be added, it would be added on top of the large ribosomal subunit, and this is not true. About 40 amino acids have to be produced before the first one would appear outside of this large ribosomal subunit. So about 70 amino acids have to be produced in order for the signal recognition particle to recognize this signal sequence, and it would be attached to this sequence. And what's going to happen next? And by the way, molecular structure of the sequence recognition particle is shown here. As you remember, signal sequence here is going to have one or two amino acids at the beginning, at the end terminus, which are going to be positively charged, and the rest of the signal sequence is going to be hydrophobic. And in this signal recognition particle, also this part is hydrophobic. So two hydrophobic surfaces would be attracted to each other. And you see that signal recognition particle would be attached here. Hydrophobic polypeptide chain would bind here, where we can find a lot of methionine amino acids which are hydrophobic. Hence, the name of this cleave is M domain. In simple organisms such as prokaryotes, bacteria, this sequence recognition particle would be represented by single protein polypeptide chain plus single 114 RNA. So just like ribosome, which is made of proteins and RNA scaffold, this sequence recognition particle, it is made of protein chain and also RNA scaffold. But in eukaryotes, this signal recognition particle consists of 6 polypeptides plus 300 nucleotides RNA, which also serve as scaffold. And out of those 6 proteins, polypeptide chains which make this signal recognition particle, we call P54, has high homology with this simple version, which we can find in E. coli and which we call FFH. In eukaryotes, this homologous protein is called P54, which is homologous to FFH in E. coli. In next step, signal recognition particle would dock to another protein which is embedded in the rough endoplasmic reticulum and has alpha and beta subunit. And do not forget that also it brings with it ribosome, so large ribosomal subunit, small ribosomal subunit, and also here is going to be a polypeptide chain with signal sequence which guide it to bring to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now let's talk in detail about sequence recognition particle and sequence recognition receptor. To avoid confusion, signal recognition particle shown here and signal recognition receptor is shown here. So here they are shown vertically and here shown horizontally. FFH is the name of the signal recognition particle in prokaryotes, in E. coli, and FTSY is the name of the signal recognition receptor alpha subunit, again in the E. coli. But we can call them just SRP, which stands for signal recognition particle, and signal recognition receptor alpha subunit. Binding of the SRP and SRP receptor facilitated by two GDPs. One is attached to receptor, another to SRP sequence recognition particle. And these two proteins dissociate from each other by hydrolysis of GTP to GDP. Now let's review the whole process, which we call co-translational translocation. Here is a messenger RNA, 5' end, 3' end, and to the 5' end in the cytosol, ribosomal complex would be attached, would be assembled. As you see, this nascent polypeptide chain has a signal that specifies that this protein have to be secreted in the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. Next, signal recognition particle, which is also abundant in the cytosol, would recognize this hydrophobic sequence and would bind to such complex and would guide this complex to the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum to alpha subunit of the signal recognition particle receptor, which is adjacent to the translocon. Messenger RNA, along with ribosomal complex and polypeptide chain, would attach to the translocon, which is closed. It's going to open, and GDP, which we can find in both sequence recognition particle and sequence recognition receptor, would be hydrolyzed and would hydrolyze to GDP and would dissociate from each other. And signal recognition particle just going to return to the cytosol and can start the cycle again. With next stage, signal peptidase is going to cut this signal. So first 16 to 30 amino acids would be cut away and not going to be a part of the polypeptide chain, not going to be a part of the folded protein. Some of you may wonder how come all these processes can happen so fast. But take a look. Here is lipid bilayer, and here would be phospholipid, and two adjacent particles of the phospholipid change places about 10 million times a second. And phospholipid is not a small molecule, so can you imagine how many events happen in our cell every second? In next stage, ribosomal complex is just going to continue to produce polypeptide chain through translocon, and when it's going to finish this process, it's just going to dissociate small subunit, and large subunit is going to dissociate from the translocon, and translocon is going to be closed. And polypeptide chain is going to be processed. Post-transcriptional processing is going to take place in the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum, and it's going to fold in its final form and would be excreted from the cell. And my last note would be, probably some of you wonder how signal recognition particle, which has here hydrophobic surface, find this hydrophobic amino acid sequence. How this happen is a artificial intelligence that guides this process. Actually, no. Just imagine you put two magnets in a box with, say, hundreds of different objects that is not magnetic, and you vigorously shake this box, and after, say, a minute, you can be sure that these two magnets would find each other. This is how it works in the cytosol with signal recognition particle with its hydrophobic surface and hydrophobic amino acids in the signal part of this polypeptide chain. And on the cellular level, such processes happens million times faster than an example with a box and magnets. And this is all for today. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Goodbye.